Morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Glenn Tan speaking. This time, I'm going to talk about the VERSATI3, our latest generation. This presentation divided into these three parts. The last part, I'm going to introduce the product features. First is the operating range, and this part is for the single phase, and the three phase is the power. As for the outdoor ambient temperature, it is this one, and here is for the user side. And also just pay attention that as the domestic hot water for the heat pump, the max we can only achieve 55 degree. From 56 to the maximum 80 degree is only rely on the water tank e-heater. Control item, and this is the VERSATI3, the outdoor unit. This is the hydro box. So this is the split tie. And for the control state, which is the control target, we have two options. First is the default water out temperature, and which is located here. According to your setting, the system will adjust to ensure the water temperature to meet this one. And the next is you need to install this remote sensor, which is inside the room to detect it whether it is your requirement. And also you can set your demand from the controller. And the third is the thermostat. Just send the on-off to the VERSATI directory. This is for the cool air conditioning. As for the DHW, only from the water tank e-heater. Only from the water tank sensor. Multi-timers. For this part, we have the weekly timer, clock timer, and temperature timer. And you can use this combination or separately, which means you can achieve during one day. You can make your target to be different. It's very convenient for your customer to use it. And here is the priority sequence. First is the temperature timer. The second, go to the clock timer. And also we have the holiday release, which means no need to use the hot water. Quiet mode. This one is just to lower the compressor and outdoor fan RPM to lower the noise of the outdoor unit. And for this one, you can decide when or to start it and when to end. Also, you can make it like this. Preset mode. That means during one day, you can operate different period for different mode. And just like in this case, you can find that at this period 1 for the domestic hot water, and the second for the cooling. And also at noon, we can also make the DHW again, and after that to do the cooling. Fast water heating mode. That means we need to heating up the water as soon as possible. So what we can do is first to turn on the heat pump. This of course, and the other hand is to heating up the water by the e-heater. And for the DHW is from the water tank e-heater. Holiday mode. That means if you are not at home for a long time, and during that time, if you would like to avoid your home from freezing, then you need to activate this holiday mode. Then the system will operate to ensure your room at about this temperature to avoid freezing. Weather dependent mode. That means after you input your setting, the system will, according to the real-time outdoor ambient temperature, to change the target for the heating or the cooling. And for this one, what you need to input is in this example, there are 4 methods. And let's select the target to beat water out temperature. And you already input the upper and lower limit of the water out temperature and the ambient temperature. Then, which is this 4. And then if we detect it today, the outdoor ambient is 10 degrees, so the system will automatically calculate that the target to be 45. This can avoid the customer to change the setting temperature frequently. And also, please pay attention that this function is not available for DHW. Water tank e-heater. The purpose of this one is to heating up the DHW for higher than 55 degrees, and after that the heat pump cannot operate. We have these 2 logics for you to choose whether you need to work together with the heat pump together or not. This infection operation mode. This mode means we need to clean the DHW by higher the DHW temperature. And also from this one, you can find that if we're heating up the DHW to 70 degrees, it can eliminate the inside bacteria immediately. So what you can set is activate or deactivate, and when to do it, and what is the target, and also when to do it again. And also just pay attention that if there is no water tank heater, then of course you cannot heating up, for example, the up the max 70 degree. And also if the system finds that after 9 hours it cannot reach the target, it will also display the failure and exit automatically. Other thermal. The functions of this one, there are 2. The first is replace the VERSATI, which is the outdoor unit, to heating up the water, or for the DHW in low temperature condition. That is the logic 1 and logic 2. Actually, the detailed difference you can refer to my controller presentation, and I will have a detailed explanation. And the second is to heating up the water is a supplement, which means working together with the heat pump. And that is logic 3. And here what you can set is this one, which is when to turn it on, which means if we detected the outdoor ambient temperature lower than your setting, then we can turn it on. And also you need to choose which logic. And here is the requirement for this other thermal. First of all, it should equip with the water pump, and then it can also set the set point. And the last is it should parallel connected with the VERSATI, just like this one. You can find that this is the heat pump, the water out, and this is the other thermal. Optional e-heater. This slide displays the function for split and all-in-one type. And the function of this optional e-heater, there are 2. The first is prevent the water system frozen in low temperature condition, which means if we detected the outdoor ambient temperature lower than our preset value, and also at the same time we find that the water temperature also lower than our preset value, and then we will turn on this e-heater. And the other one is working as a heating capacity supplement in low ambient temperature, which means this optional heater can work with the outdoor heat pump to offer the heating. And also similar to the other thermal, the turn-on condition is you can decide this TE heater, which is this one. And also we offer two logics for you to select, which is logic 1 and logic 2. Logic 1 is only power on the optional heater, which will turn off the heat pump. Turn off this one. And logic 2 is working together with the heat pump and according to the water out temperature to power on the heater. And here is two notes just for your reference. First is not to turn on this heater and water tank heater at the same time. And the other is not to turn on the heater and other thermal at the same time. As for the power of this heater, this is the information. E-heater for monoblock. As you know that for monoblock, we don't have any e-heater inside. You need to judge the on-site to install the e-heater yourself. So you can find that the function is the same as the working logic is the same, but we don't have the actual unit. And what you need to install on site is this one. And actually this is the water system. And this is the monoblock. We combine the hydro box and the outdoor unit together. And at the output, especially to the heat FCU, to this part, you need to install this optional heater here. And we offer you one or two sets can be selected. Here is the detail for how to do the wiring for the optional e-heater for monoblock type, which is NHG series. There is no built-in e-heater. You need to judge on site whether you need to install this. And we have this KN1 and KN2 is for optional e-heater. And for the water tank e-heater is KN3. You need to connect to here. And by the way, you can find that there is 14 and 17 and also 20. This wire is to detect if this AC contactor is malfunction. That means will be always on even if we see the off signal from the weak current. If we detect it, this is still on, it will trigger the error. Energy saving. For this one, we offer you the method to cut the power consumption, which is either by the current or by the power. You can select it, and the system will detect the current and not exceed your setting. And also similar to the power, as we already know the voltage, so we can get the power according to the current. And how it works is just like this. And for example, you set this one to be 70%, so the system will not higher than this line. And this one we can save. Emergency operation mode. That means if some error occurs and this heat pump not will still operate, then you can apply this emergency mode, which is if this one is malfunction, then you can still turn on the water pump of the hydro box to offer the heating or to the DHW. It's just you can even without the outdoor unit, this system can still operate. And at that time, the only heating by the e-heater, either the optional or the water tank e-heater, or by the other thermal. Mode combination. This slide displays how the system will operate if you select the two modes, which is, for example, this cooling plus domestic hot water, and the priority is on the DHW. Then the controller will display this icon, and if this one at the front, that means it is the priority. And also the system will operate just like this. The first, it will heating up the domestic hot water because it is priority until it reach the set target. And after that, the outdoor unit or the heat pump will change to the air conditioning, which means with the three-way valve we change direction. And if we detected the DHW is lower than our setting, then the heat pump will change back to heating up the DHW again. And how about if the priority is on cooling? At that time, the heat pump, which is this one, is only cooling down the water. The DHW is only heating up by the water tank e-heater. And similar to the heating plus domestic hot water priority at the DHW, the system will first heating up the DHW, and after that, after we reach the target, the system will change to air conditioning, which is heating up the water for the either FCU or the floor coils. And after that, if we detected the DHW, the temperature is lower than the set temperature, then the heat pump will change back to the DHW to heating up the water again. And also, if the priority is on the heating, then the heat pump will only work for the heating, which is for this part, and the water tank heater is only to heating up the DHW. This slide displays how to do the wiring from computer to the VERSATI. And on this slide, you can find that there are three series of it: monoblock, split type, and all-in-one. We already output the standard RS-485 from this controller, which means on site you just need to connect the wiring from the controller then to the RS-485 converter. Then you can connect with the PC. And also, don't forget to change different address for different controller. As for this RS-485 converter, if you choose from our grid, we can offer you this too. It is output USB and RS-232. And this one is the same as the GMV debugger. You can also prepare from your local market. On the other hand, as the RS-485 protocol is not completely the same, we are not recommend to connect VERSATI2 and VERSATI3 together. They should be separate with different RS-485 converter for the communication.